So on the record in docket 2203-107, the accompanying ticket of 22L2743-102, City of Lansing versus Sarah Steenbeck. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amanda Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Ms. Steenbeck, who is seated to my right.
And ma'am, you are Sarah Marie Steenbeck? Okay. This is the time set for a final pretrial in the matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, my understanding is that Ms. Steenbeck will be pleading guilty to the charge BAC under 21, and in return, I will dismiss the open talks and Killebrew to no upfront jail.
So
That's correct, Your Honor, which means that she'll be pleading to the file 22-03107 OD.
And the open talks will be dismissed?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a Killebrew of no jail.
Correct.
No upfront jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the operating under 21 with BAC is a misdemeanor, 90 days and/or
I believe it's and/or 500.
500. Ms. Steenbeck, is that your understanding of what we're doing here today?
Yes.
All right. Counsel, may I inquire of your client of their advice of rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Steenbeck, you understand that a plea to count one of the ticket, or essentially the first part of the ticket, is a guilty plea to a misdemeanor, which has ultimate potential penalty of 90 days and/or $500. You understand that? Okay. And you understand that the agreement today is that you'd be given no upfront jail, Killebrew, which means that if I do something differently than that upfront jail, you can withdraw your plea. Do you understand that? All right. I'm gonna read you your misdemeanor rights in this case, and I'll walk you through those. All right. All right. In this misdemeanor case, you have the right to have to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses. You have the right to counsel. You, of course, are represented by Public Defender Lauren Sutter. She would cross-examine or contest any charges brought against you in trial. Do you understand that? You have the right to have the court order any witnesses to appear in your defense. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim the plea was a result of any promises other than the plea agreement already stated, or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. Do you understand that? Okay. You'll also be giving up the right to any trial rights, appeal from any trial rights. Since you're not having a trial today, you're pleading guilty. Do you understand that? All right. Is it your intention to plead guilty to the operating under 21 with a BAC of 0.02 or greater?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? All right. I'm going to bring your attention back to November 4th of 2022 at the offense location of Holmes and Tenney in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. Were you at Holmes and Tenney in the city of Lansing, Ingham County on November 4th, 2022? All right. And were you at that time, on that date, were you in possession or had you consumed alcohol? And were you under 21 years old? Okay. Any questions concerning the factual basis, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Any questions, Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I find the count one factual basis to be understanding, voluntarily, and accurately made. Ms. Williams, what is the city's position on referring to probation at this time?
Your Honor, I prefer that Ms. Steenbeck be referred to probation.
Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, I would ask that this be considered for immediate sentence. This is one of the charges that does qualify for the non-serious misdemeanor presumption of fines and costs only. And I would ask the court to consider that, pointing out to Ms. Steenbeck's credit, she has already completed a substance abuse assessment, the MAD victim impact panel, and the highway safety course, which are the three main things she would be required to do on any term of probation.
Right. I think with the second dismissed ticket of open intoxicant in vehicle driver, and since it was an under 21, I'm going to refer this to probation, with the understanding that Ms. Steenbeck has done pretty much everything, but I'd like them to take a look at it. It'll be sent out for 8 to 10 weeks right now. So I'll refer to probation. Sentencing date?
May 22nd at 1:30.
May 22nd at 1:30. I'm going to dismiss count 2, the open intox, as a part of this, per the plea agreement.
Just be clear, that's a different, in terms of cases, that's a different case
That's a
number as
different
well.
case number.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just have it as a ticket.
Right, it is count 2 on the ticket, and specifically the open intox is for file 22 L2 7451020 OT.
Perfect. So is that the same? Is that the same event? It's just they made it a different.
Yes,
Okay.
they just split
All
them
right.
into 2.
All right. Ms. Stenbeck, are you going to go to probation today?
Yes.
Okay, go right downstairs, the 5th floor. What they're going to do is they're going to ask you a bunch of questions, set it up in a report, and then give it to me, and then we'll see what our options are at that point. It sounds like you've done most of everything, so you may have done our options already, but I just want to take a look at it. Okay, so we'll be back here on May 22nd at 1:30. Okay, ma'am. All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03107 or the accompanying ticket, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Anything,
thank
Ms.
you.
Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kozort, you're here on 22-03924.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I don't have the case number in front.
Is it
03924, yeah.
LG Everett versus James Murray?
Yes, Your Honor.
And I believe we just said it quickly. We set it as a control date to make sure that Mr. Murray was out of the apartment on this date as a control date. Is that my understanding?
Yes, Your Honor, and it's my understanding he did move.
Correct. That's so I just wanted to make sure that everything we need to be here on this case has been taken care of.
For us, yeah, I didn't know if property manager or Mr. Woodrow were gonna appear today.
I don't see Mr. Woodrow. I don't see Mr. Woodrow here. But if Mr. Murray is out of the residence, I don't even have it on my docket. So I'm assuming that the control date was set just to make sure that we didn't have any issues with the tenant still in the residence.
Yep, that was the intention, yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna presume that that everything that's been done on this case is necessary. I just wanted to make sure you understood that. So you're free to leave the Zoom courtroom if you choose.
Your Honor, I believe Bessie Clark may be the property manager for this. I see a hand up.
I think Ms. Clark, you're the property manager at LG Everett LLC.
Yep, that's correct.
All right. And then was Mr. Woodrow, was he going to join us from Detroit? I don't believe so.
I
'cause
thought I thought one of his office staff were going to, but I don't see them here.
I think
But
it was
I did
taken off the
confirm.
docket.
Okay. I did confirm that he moved out.
All right. All right. So I think for our purposes, we took it off the docket just because we received the same information. But so it appears that 2203-924, that file is closed now. Okay, ma'am?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. And anything else, Mr. Cozart?
No, Your Honor, and I'll see you Wednesday.
All right, thank you. We'll see you Wednesday. And then Mr. Akanicki, you're here on the painter case.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Let me see is there a William Anderson or Brandy Anderson in the courtroom? I don't see a William Anderson or a Brandy Anderson in the courtroom. Mr. Akanicki, we set this for control date for the second pretrial, just to revisit this issue.
Yes, Your Honor, we actually had an order of eviction that was entered. The defendants filed a motion to stay the order. We came in and we had a hearing. And before the court made any ruling on the hearing, we agreed to wait a week to see if he would pay what was actually $11,000. He came in on, let's see, it would have been to my office on Friday, which would have been Friday the 17th, and wrote me two
Right.
checks. We came back last Monday to see if those just have a control date. I asked if the court would set it out another week to see if the checks cleared. The checks actually, one of the checks at least actually bounced. The other one I don't have yet. It hasn't cleared or bounced yet. So at this point, since the check bounced and he doesn't have, he did text me to see if he could pay cash. I said, sure. He never responded. So at this point, I would ask that his motion be denied and that the court allow the order of eviction to enter.
All right, this was, if I remember correctly, this was an order to set aside the initial order. Is that correct?
Yes, we had. We had a conditional dismissal. I filed an order for reinstatement. The court granted it and granted an order of eviction. Defendants filed a motion to set aside to stay the order of eviction, and the court
Right.
didn't necessarily make a ruling on that. We were kind of waiting to see if he was able to pay, and it's clear he's not going to be able to pay.
Right. So I'm going to I'm going to deny the motion to set aside. I don't see Mr. Brady here in the Zoom courtroom or in the physical courtroom. I don't see I don't see William Anderson or Brandy Anderson in the Zoom courtroom or the physical courtroom. I know that we've adjourned this out twice to see if I wanted to make sure you had the money before we dismissed anything or do we denied anything. And it appears that there's been a problem in that regard. So I'm going to deny the motion to set aside the order, and I will confirm the conditional dismissal. And that was the conditional dismissal that you and Mr. Anderson had originally entered into. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. And there ended up, I think the court actually did enter an order of eviction, and Mike Ramsey went out, actually did serve it. He filed a motion to set aside before it was actually executed fully.
All right. So the conditional dismissal is ordered and confirmed. We can go ahead and execute that fully. I think at this time, Mr. Anderson's given every opportunity to coincide with any agreement, and it just hasn't occurred.
Yeah, I agree, Your Honor. I had prepared an order that says that the defendant's motion to stay writ of eviction is denied, that the writ of eviction may be enforced immediately, and I was going to submit that if that's acceptable.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So I'll sign that order this afternoon when I get it. All right, Mr. Hockenhickey?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll email it in right now.
All right. So that's all for the record, docket 22-02745. Just for the record, that was initially set for 8:30 today, and it's now 8:56.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Hockenhickey. And Mr. Murray, you should be all set today, okay?
Okay, thank you. Sorry I was late. I couldn't connect to the internet, being homeless.
All right, you should be all set. Thank you for your appearance today, sir.
Sorry for my tardiness.
You're okay.
Goodbye, Your Honor.
Mr. Levine, I just called your case. You're here in regards to Asif Ahmed.
That's correct, Your Honor. Ahmed.
All right, your appearance for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Attorney Bennett Levine on behalf of Ahmed Asaf.
All right, ma'am, you filed a motion to set aside the possession judgment indicating that you were in the hospital giving birth. Is that
Yes.
correct? And then you were told to bring any confirmation or any documentation which would indicate that.
Yeah, with that, my house got red tagged and I got a sewage problem, so I lost everything up in the house. I can't even enter the house or anything like that.
So do you have any documentation indicating that?
It was in a house that got, my ceiling had rained down, like collapsed, and I lost everything, paperwork and all. I can't even enter the house to get no belongings out of there. I have my pictures and everything.
Well, I mean, that I'm interested in your pictures, but I'm really interested in documentation indicating why you weren't here.
Right.
I mean, that's why we set it
Yep.
for today. You set a motion to set aside because there's a default judgment.
Mhm.
And you've been able to give me no
My
documentation.
documents was in the house and everything like that. Everything got destroyed, my immediate paperwork and everything like that.
Mr. Levine, have you had any discussions with Ms. Williams concerning this event?
No, Your Honor. My understanding was, as the court just said, that she was going to bring some type of supporting doc to reflect that she was giving birth. There's and I don't want to be cynical or too skeptical, but perhaps the hospital where she gave birth can reproduce some type of document. I don't know.
I guess that's the only thing is the hospital will have the documentation. It doesn't have to necessarily come from you, as long as, they could reproduce any records if you at your request. Do you have any documentation like that from the hospital?
No, everything was in my house.
Right, but you don't need this stuff in your house. You could go to the hospital and get
Yeah, I can get
documentation.
from the hospital because my son was born 2023 of this year.
Okay. but I need documentation indicating that, because we didn't receive any type of documentation from you.
Right, I
We-
supposed to have brought it today.
Right.
My house got red tag on Friday.
Right, and so February 22nd of 2023 would be the date that we would need to indicate why you weren't present here. And that's why we adjourned it to today. And then once again, today you've come with no documentation.
I didn't even know my house was gonna get red tagged or my ceiling was gonna cave in either.
Right, but you understand that you can get the documentation from the hospital. You don't need to get the documentation from your place of residence,
I know.
right? I can give you a week. I can give you a week to come up with documentation that you were supposed to come up with already. But I mean, but this documentation can come from the hospital indicating, or else if you're not here or you don't have documentation, then I'm gonna deny your motion to set it aside. You placed money in escrow for this.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so you've got money in escrow, and that's basic. That's why I'm giving you a week.
Right.
You placed money up front indicating that this money is rent money,
Right,
and
it is.
but go to the hospital to
Yeah.
get the documentation.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Levine, I guess your take on this is kind of similar to mine. I will give her a week to see if she can get hospital documentation. Really, that's just explaining your February 22nd non-appearance.
Okay.
If you explain that to me and you were giving birth at the time, obviously that's more than a valid reason to set this aside, and we can go forward from there. Okay. But that's the issue. So we will set it for a week from today. Do we have? Yep. All right. On the Monday, we can put it there.
Let's do 8:30.
April 3rd at 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll set it for April 3rd at 8:30. And I'm going to indicate that the tenant indicated that they'll get documentation from the hospital. What hospital was your son born at? Okay. So, Mr. Ossoff, do you understand what we're doing this day? We've set it out one more week to see that the person gets documentation.
Next Monday?
Next Monday, yep, next Monday. Yeah, we've given one additional week, so this be next Monday at 8:30, okay? Mr. Levine, you're all set today?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's more than understood, given the sensitivity of the reason that they offer. I was going to say there's no objection to pushing it out. So I appreciate the court doing it in such a fast turnaround. So thank you.
All right, thank you. You're all set, Ms. Williams. We'll see you here next week, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, you're all set, Mr. Levine. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you as well. Thank you.
Ms. Williams,
Yes, Your Honor.
do you have some criminal matters now?
I have plenty.
So which one is this?
Howard Martin.
Marked. All right, so we're on the record in docket 22-03351. That's City of Lansing versus Howard Martin. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Martin, who is seated to my right.
And sir, you are Howard Martin? Okay. This is the time set for a final free trial in the matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I will be amending both counts to impeding traffic, and my understanding that Mr. Martin will be accepting responsibility for both.
All right, so there's count 1 and count 2, and they'll both be impeding traffic.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I will accept responsibility on my client's behalf.
Ending both counts. Count 1 and count 2 to impeding traffic. And what's the code on that?
I've got
That
that. Take it to the right page.
okay, MCL 257.676B.
676B, that's no 0 points,
That's
correct?
0 points.
And what's the fine on that?
130.
130. So it'd be 130 times 2.
Correct.
And you'll be accepting responsibility on both of those civil infractions, Ms. Sutter?
Yes.
All right, just to make sure we're working from the same, this is a warrant, so we would add account 3 and account 4. Is that from the warrant, or do you want to just, usually I add counts on a warrant and I amend on a ticket.
I'll leave the administrative logistics to your discretion, Your Honor.
Right. But for consistency purposes. Right, yeah, they used a warrant instead of a ticket, so we'll just, it's the same outcome, but we're of the impeding traffic, and then with the plea to the count 3 and 4, counts 1 and 2 will be dismissed.
Okay. I have no objection.
All right, so plead responsible to count 3 and 4 of impeding traffic and dismiss counts 1 and 2. That way there's some consistency, at least from my part. All right, Ms. Sutter, we're working from the same warrant. This is for events that occurred on September 2nd, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And that's in the city of Lansing, Ingham County on South Cedar in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. Is that my understanding?
My understanding is we don't need the jurisdictional
We
questions
don't.
for the civil
Correct.
infractions. I will decline to answer.
That's fair. So do you admit responsibility for counts 3 and 4 impeding traffic on that date?
I do.
All right. With that understanding, the fine is $260. That's one for each. So $260. Does your client need some time to make that payment, Ms. Sutter?
If the court could give him till the end of the week, Friday, 4 o'clock, perhaps. I think he intends to pay it today, but I prefer to give him more time.
Perfect. So March 31st?
Yes.
All right. So March 31st by 4 will be the date of payment. Of course, if you're able to pay today, go ahead and pay today and get rid of it, right? Anything else for the record in docket 22-03351, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Ms.
Thank
Sutter?
you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Martin, good luck to you. Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah, get it out of your life. Fair enough. Good luck to you.
All right. So we're ready on Anderson?
I'm ready on Anderson.
Ready. All right.
He did file a substitution of counsel last week with the court. If you don't have it yet, I can forward it to you one day. That would be great, Ms. Hunter. Thank you.
All right. So we're on the record, docket 22 L2755341, 342, and 343. City of Lansing versus Tyron Anderson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amanda Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And good morning, Your Honor. Gregory Sheena, P74815, on behalf of the defendant who is present and standing to my right.
All right. It's my understanding that there has been a substitution of counsel filed last week,
That is
and
correct.
they're going to forward it to us, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And sir, you are Tyron Anderson?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. This is a final pretrial. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Okay, so we have 3 tickets. I'm just gonna go one by one, so we're not confusing
All
the
right.
files, right? Okay, so for file ending with 5343, that's failure to display ops. I will be amending that, to allowing an unlicensed person to drive. That's under MCL 257.326.
Is that a misdemeanor or civil infraction?
That's a misdemeanor, but we're going for the 0 points.
Okay, so it's 0 points. And it's 90 days and or $100.
Yes.
Okay.
And Your Honor, I believe it does an abstract as well that allow it, yeah.
All right. So that's on 343
Yes.
and on 342.
342 and 341, I will be amending both the impeding traffic.
Getting traffic. We just had this. It's $130 fine. What's the code on that?
The code, that's
Two five-
MCL 257, excuse me, .676B.
It's $130 fine. That is on 342 and then on 341 the same.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we'll do those last. You're accepting responsibility on behalf of your client for those?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
And I did advise him of his rights as to the misdemeanor, and he's prepared to waive those rights and plead guilty to the
Perfect.
charge.
All right. So may I inquire your client just of some of his rights on that misdemeanor plea?
Of course, Your Honor.
So, so sir, you've heard the negotiations that have appeared on these three files. It appears that you'll be pleading to a civil infraction on two files, and on this file will be on the file which ends 343. We'll be amending it and as to an unlicensed person driving, which is the potential is a 90-day misdemeanor and $100. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you're prepared to plead guilty to that today. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. In this misdemeanor plea, you have certain rights. Your lawyer's covered with them, but we'll cover them for the record. You have the right to be tried by a jury, to be presumed innocent till proven guilty, to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty, to have the witnesses against you appear at trial, to question those witnesses. You are represented by counsel today, and he could contest and cross-examine any charges brought by the people against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to have the court order any witnesses appear in your defense. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you, and you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim. The plea was a result of any other promises that we talked about, other than just the negotiations in the plea agreement. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Be giving up any trial rights in this matter because you're pleading guilty. You won't have a trial in this matter. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna bring your attention back pursuant to this misdemeanor on October 19, 2022 at the offense location of Miller and Ellendale. Were you on Miller and Ellendale in the city of Lansing on October 19, 2022?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, pursuant to the plea agreement, did you allow an unlicensed person to drive your vehicle?
Yes.
All right. I find anything concerning the factual basis, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Sorry, what's your name? Sheena?
Yes, Mr. Sheena.
Mr.
yes.
Sheena, Mr. Sheena, anything regards to the factual basis of your client?
Nothing yet.
All right. I find the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. Do you have any objection to immediate sentencing?
No,
Liz?
Your Honor, no objection.
So let's go ahead and get all three, and then we'll do the immediate sentencing. In regards to the two, and we're working from the same ticket. So, Mr. Sheena, do you accept responsibility on behalf of your client in regards to that ticket L275534? That's also on October 19, 2022 at the same offense of Miller Ellendale, that your client in both civil infractions impeded traffic on that day.
Yes, Your Honor, we accept that.
All right. With that understanding, we'll do a global resolution here, and we'll do it's $130 fine for the impeding traffic. There's another $130 fine for the impeding traffic. That's on 341 and 342. In the misdemeanor, I have a $75 state crime victims' rights fee because it's a misdemeanor. I have a $50 state fee for $125, and then I'll indicate we have $100 of fines and costs. I'm going to put it at 75 to make it of 200. So on all traffic, on all tickets, it'll be 260 plus 200, which is 460 altogether.
And
Do you need some time to make that payment?
Yes, he can pay 150 today, Your Honor,
All
and
right.
then just give him 60 days to pay the balance.
All right. So the nice thing about this is I'll give you the full amount of time and then you can pay as you go, as long as it's all paid off by that time, okay? So we'll set it 60 days out, which I think is reasonable considering this. So 60 days, okay? So May 26th at 4 o'clock. It's May 26th. At 4 o'clock. Okay. All right, so sir, you'll have till May 26th at 4 o'clock. If you're gonna pay some today, that'll bring it down, but you have till that date to pay off all three fines, okay, sir? All right, anything else for the record? In either one of these tickets, 22 L275534441, 42, or 43, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything, Mr. Sheena?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right,
Thank
thank
so
you.
much.
Mr. Anderson, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'm ready on Ochoa Aguilar. So we can get that out of the way.
Ochoa Aguilar?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right. Mr. Noble, how are you?
Good, Mr. Your Honor, how are you?
I'm good. Brought Mr. Bood with you?
Yes, our clerk, new clerk in the office came.
Yeah, I've got to call him out when I see him, you know that? So. All right, so we're on the record in docket 22-03465. That is City of Lansing versus Louis E. Ochoa Aguilar. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Noble, P 86217, on behalf of Mr. Aguilar, who is present to my right.
And sir, you are Louis Ochoa Aguilar? All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, my understanding that Mr. Ochoa Aguilar will be pleading guilty to the amended charge, impaired driving, and in return, I will calibrate to no upfront jail.
So. This is a warrant, right?
Yes. That is.
Right, so we'll add a count 2 of impaired driving. And with a plea to that impaired driving count, count 1 is dismissed, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. You need the code for it.
Yeah, I will in just a second. All right,
That's MCL 257.625 subsection 3.
and that is 90 days in or
Mm.
it's 90, is that a 92 day?
It's a 93 day, Your Honor.
93 day?
Yeah.
93 day under $500.
Not more than 300 on the impaired. Your Honor.
Perfect, 300. Thank you, Mr. Noble. All right, and did you say there was Killebrew agreement?
Yes.
Okay, so Killebrew agreement of no upfront jail. Mr. Noble, is that your understanding of the plea offer is to plead to count 2 of impaired driving, count 1 is to be dismissed, and there's a Killebrew agreement of no upfront jail?
That is true, Your Honor, and my client has been apprised of all the penalties that come with this guilty plea.
All right, thank you. So may I inquire of your Mr. Ochoa Aguilar of his advice of rights?
Absolutely. Your Honor.
All right. So, sir, you've heard all the lawyers talk today, and so in the the agreement is to plead count 2 to the impaired driving. It's a potential penalty of 93 days and or $300. There's a Killebrew agreement of no upfront jail. which means that if I gave you upfront jail, you could withdraw your plea. Do you understand that? All right. I'm going to walk you through some of your rights in this case. All right, sir? You have the right to be tried by a jury. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at trial. You have the right to question those witnesses against you. You have the right to counsel. You, of course, are represented by attorney Dan Noble, and he would cross-examine or contest any charges brought against you in this case. Do you understand that, sir? You have the right to have myself, the court, order any witnesses to appear in your defense at trial. You have the right to remain silent during the trial. You have the right not to have that silence used against you. And you have the right to testify at trial if you choose to testify. If your plea is accepted, you'll give up the claim that the plea was a result of any promises other than what we've discussed or threats that it was not your choice to plead guilty. Do you understand that? You won't have a trial in this because you're pleading guilty. So you're also giving up the right to any appeal from a trial. Do you understand that? Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury? Okay, I'm going to bring your attention back to the offense location of. Let's see here. I don't see July 23rd of 2022. Were you operating a motor vehicle on that date? Yes. And were you operating on Malcolm X King Boulevard in the city of Lansing, Ingham County? Yes. All right. And at that time, did you have, I think the BAC level would be a 0.08 or above? Okay. I find that anything towards a factual basis, Ms. Williams.
No, Your Honor.
Anything towards a factual basis for the impaired driving, Mr. Noble.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I find the factual basis to be knowing, voluntarily, and accurately made. We will refer this to probation. For the drunk driving claim, so go to the 5th floor. Mr. Noble will take you there, and then it's a probation department. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions, but what they're going to do is they're going to develop a report for me, and then in May is where we're out to. We're going to see what options are available to us. All right, sir.
You were flicking them on to break it anyways, huh?
We can mute Ms. Arneson. So sentencing date?
May 22nd at 1:30.
May 22nd at 1:30. Anything else for the record? So you have that May 22nd at 1:30? All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03-465, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Noble?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ochoa Aguilar, we'll see you on the 22nd. All right, sir? Mr. Noble, Mr. Aboud, always a pleasure to see you in my courtroom.
Great to start the week, Your Honor.
All right, take care.
See you. You too.
I want it for the record that I don't think we need to put this on the record. All that.
I think it was before me.
I think a little bit before.
Yeah.
A little bit before. Who's next to Miss Williams? We have.
I'm not ready on ours.
You wanted to? Who's on the iPhone here?
Social is trying to get them.
Sir, on the iPhone, can you please identify yourself?
John.
No, it's not.
John Goodall?
Yes.
All right. You're here for your 9:30, Mr. Goodall?
Yes, sir.
All right. Stand by. We've got some cases in front of you.
For mental health cases, I take it for and I don't want to.
pursue them longer than they need to.
So Ms. Robinson, did you want to meet with Mr.? Mr. Goodall, you're not represented by an attorney today, is that correct?
Excuse me?
You're not represented by an attorney today, sir?
They told me I can choose to pick one if I do a pre-trial, but I was just gonna go one and just plead guilty.
All right, well, did you want to meet with the city law, the assistant city attorney on your case, just to see if there's anything any offers in the case?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so once the assistant city attorney joins the room, I'll put you in a breakout room with her, okay, sir?
Okay.
And can I get a breakout room with Miss Person, please?
I sure can. Miss Sutter was gonna go there, but I'm happy to put you in a breakout room with Miss Person. So let's see. I'm gonna assign you to room 2. And I'm Miss Person, I'm gonna send you there with your public defender. And then Mr. Goodall, I'll put you with the city attorney in room 3.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I have a weird request.
It's Monday, Lord.
I only
keep
have
it
weird requests. Let's just make that clear. Can you put me in a breakout room? Not with anyone, just in a breakout room.
Just by yourself?
Yes, my reason being, if I'm on Zoom, you can't mute on a phone. So my solution to this is if I stay in a breakout room, I don't disturb the courts.
You are in room 4.
I just let you up.
Sir, on the Ingham County Jail Polycom, are you Bobby Harris?
Dante Greer.
Oh, okay.
That's you did it. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Greer, we're going to place you in a breakout room with your public defender, okay?
Okay.
All right. And Ms. Person, we'll call your file as soon, the city attorney's in a breakout room right now.
Okay. You did a good.
Okay, perfect.
So we're on the record in docket 23-00482. Mr. Goodall, this is your case. City of Lansing versus John C. Goodall. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
And sir, you are John Goodall?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And you can hear me all right, Mr. Goodall?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I'd like to adjourn for 45 days for compliance purposes.
And is that your understanding, Mr. Goodall? We're gonna adjourn this matter for 45 days for compliance purposes?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll set this is the first adjournment I have. And we'll set this for May 8th at 9 o'clock. So, Mr. Goodall, on anything that you and the Assistant City Attorney talked about, should be done or should be finished by May 8th at 9 o'clock. All right, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
We'll see you back here May 8th at 9 o'clock. We'll mail a notice to your place of residence. All right?
Yes.
Anything else for the record, docket 23-00482, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Goodall, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
So she has the appointment with Secretary of State.
All right, Ms. Person, we'll call your case. We're on the record in docket 22-03476. That's City of Lansing versus Ashley Person. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Assistant City Attorney Amanda Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Person, who's appearing over Zoom.
And ma'am, you are Ashley Person? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, I just heard that. Can you hear me all right, Ms. Person?
Yes, I can.
Okay. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter, a second pretrial. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I'd like to request a short adjournment for 2 weeks for compliance purposes.
Ms. Robinson, is that your understanding?
It is, Your Honor.
All right. So I will grant a 2-week adjournment in this matter. All right, so we're gonna give you an extra week, so we'll give you 3 weeks. All right. So we'll grant a 3-week adjournment because our schedule doesn't allow the 2-week adjournment. Miss Person, you understand? So what date is that? April 17th at 9:30. April 17th at 9:30. So, Ms. Person, you understand that this will be the last adjournment granted in this case. So you're to come, you're to get everything settled by April 17th. All right, ma'am?
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 22-03476 or the accompanying ticket, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Ms. Person, thank you for your appearance today. You're all set.
Thank you.
What time was it? Wendy, I'm sorry.
9:30.
9:30, thank you.
That is a cute kid.
Mhm.
So we're on the record in docket 22-02627. That is the City of Lansing versus Trent Arneson.
Yeah.
Parties, please introduce themselves for the record.
On Your Honor, Assistant City Attorney Amanda Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Arneson.
And sir, you are Trent Arneson?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can hear me all right, Mr. Arneson?
Yes, can you hear me all right, sir?
I can, thank you. So this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, my understanding is that Mr. Arneson will be accepting responsibility to the amended charge breach of the peace.
And is that a civil infraction?
That's a civil infraction.
Civil infraction? Are there, what's the fine on that?
150, I believe it's the standard. $150.
Sounds right. Okay. All right. And Ms. Robinson, you'll be accepting responsibility on behalf of your client?
I will.
All right. So, Mr. Arneson, that's your understanding that you'll be pleading responsible to a civil infraction of the fine in that is $150. And with that, the count one is to, or the ticket, which is, no, it's just a warrant. So it's actually count one is to be dismissed. Is that your understanding, sir?
That's my understanding, yes.
All right. So, Ms. Robinson, just so make sure we're working from the same warrant, that is on or about June 14th, 2022. Do you accept responsibility for Mr. Trent Davis Scott Arneson being in breach of the peace pursuant to a violation of that civil infraction?
I do.
Okay. What's that code on breach of the peace?
750.170.
Yeah, I always miss that.
All right. And so the civil infraction is $150 fine. Ms. Robinson, does your client need some time to make that?
If we could
payment?
give him 30 days, Judge,
All
that
right.
would be sufficient. Thank you.
30 days for payment. April 26th. So through your attorney, you've accepted responsibility for the civil infraction. The $150 to the city of Lansing fine in that can be paid by April 26th at 4 o'clock. Okay, Mr. Arneson?
April
26th
20, yep,
at 4
before
o'clock.
4 o'clock. Thank you.
Yep. And you can pay that online or you can come in and pay that in person on the 6th floor. Okay, sir?
In person on the 6th floor, but yep.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 2202-627, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor. Thank
Anything
you.
else, Ms. Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Yep, you're welcome.
I think we're ready on Mr. Loving Greer.
Mr. Loving Greer.
He's still in the breakout room.
Okay, we can pull him out. So we're on the record in docket 23-00867. That is the City of Lansing versus Dante Loving Greer. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Loving Greer, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Dante Loving Greer?
Yes.
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Mr. Loving Greer?
Yes.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the city moves to dismiss at this time.
No objection.
And this is a ticket. This is a ticket. All right, Mr. Loving Greer, you understand that the city is moving to dismiss without prejudice, which means they could reissue if they choose to. But for all our purposes today, the case is dismissed. All right, sir?
Okay.
All right. Anything else for the record in docket 23-00867, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank
Anything,
you.
Ms. Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, that's all for the record in that file. You're all set, Mr. Loving Greer.
Okay.
And sir, what's your name?
Andrews Morgan.
He's fine as well.
Andrews Morgan. Is that Did you want to meet with him?
Yes, please.
All right. Mr. Morgan, I'm gonna put you in a breakout room with your attorney, public defender, Lauren Sutter, in just a second, okay? You can go ahead, we can go ahead and put him in the room. She's got room for it herself. So we're on the record in docket 23-00704. That is City of Lansing versus Andres Morgan. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, on behalf of Mr. Morgan, who joins us via Zoom.
And sir, you are Andres Morgan,
Yes, I am, sir.
and you can hear me all right, Mr. Morgan?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in this matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, the city moves to dismiss both counts.
No objection.
So, Mr. Morgan, you understand the city is moving to dismiss both counts without prejudice. It means that they may bring back the case if they choose to. However, for all our purposes today, the case is dismissed. Do you understand that, sir?
I do understand it fully, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Anything else for the record, the docket 23-00704, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor.
Ms.
thank
Sutter?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Morgan, good luck to you. You're all set.
Have a great day, Your Honor.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sutter.
No problem. You're welcome. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like.
Peace to the DA.
I would agree. You're free to leave the room, Mr. Morgan. You're all set.
00778. That is City of Lansing versus Bobby Harris. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter standing in for Ms. Robinson on behalf of Mr. Harris.
And this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. It appears Mr. Harris was in custody and now is not in custody. This was the time set for a pretrial. It was scheduled for 9 o'clock. It is now 10:07. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, shows that this is the first time that Mr. Harris has failed to appear. I will be asking for a bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold.
Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, I would ask, this might be a weird request. I would ask that the bench warrant be held until after April 4th. He has several other hearings scheduled for that day and he is homeless, so I'm not sure if he's just forgetting this court date because he's got several more on that date with this court.
So what do we have April 4th on?
There's a trespass pretrial, an obstructing official business. And then on the 10th, there's 2 more trespasses set. And he is homeless, so I don't know if he's just mixing up various court dates.
I see 2 cases on the, excuse me, on the floor.
48-hour hold.
I don't know.
I don't know if we're ever gonna find him. I mean, yeah, I just don't know. Even if we're able to find him, we'd find him and incarcerate him and then he's gonna be out. And I don't know if he's gonna be around for the April 4th, just because he's hard. I'm gonna put a 48-hour hold on him. Bench warrant bond for sure, 48-hour hold. If you're able to contact him in any way, we'll set it up. I'll put them all on that April 4th date, but that's a statute date, right? This is a city
He's got
case.
statute and ordinance. He's
Yeah.
got statute and city cases. so
Yes,
He's got them
If
both.
he shows up, we can arraign him on the warrant.
right, yeah, he's got state cases on the 4th and he's got additional city cases on the 10th.
All right. All right, so we'll rein him on that. I'm gonna issue a bench warrant bond forfeiture. I'm gonna put a 48-hour hold and we'll go from there.
Understood, thank you.
That's on Mr. Harris. What about Mr. Lycum?
I have been unable to contact Mr. Lycum.
I remember Mr. Lycum.
He's previously appeared. I'm not quite sure why he's here today. I called him on Friday, left him a voicemail. I haven't heard back from him yet.
All right. So we're on the record docket 21-01338, City of Lansing versus Jeff Lycum. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter appearing today on behalf of Mr. Lycum, who I do not believe is present.
Okay, this was initially scheduled for 9 o'clock. It is now 10:10. It appears that Mr. Lycum has failed to appear. Ms. Williams, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, this is the first time that Mr. Lycum has failed to appear, so I'll be asking for a bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour.
All right, Ms. Sutter?
I would just ask the 48-hour hold be issued. This is his first non-appearance and this is a driving case.
Right. So Mr. Lycum has been here previously, but he's not here, but that was about a month ago. So I'm gonna issue the defendant failed to appear and with a 48-hour hold.
Thank you.
So that's all for the record in docket 21-01338. We have Mr. Lewis.
I'm sure why Mr. Lewis is here. We spoke on Friday.
I don't know.
He has another case going on Mason, and I know he's getting some confusion between them, mixing up the court dates. I spoke with him on Friday, tried to make sure he knew. Today, Lansing, a few days Mason, but he's not here, so I don't know if he understood me.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 19L2508621. Let's see, that's right. This is time set for a pretrial, the City of Lansing versus Jimmy Lewis. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Lewis, who I do not believe is present, though I have recently spoken with him.
Right, this was set for 9 o'clock. It's now 10:11. This is, so it appears the defendants failed to appear. Check the Zoom courtroom. There's nobody in the physical courtroom. Ms. Williams, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, this is the first time that Mr. Lewis has failed to appear, so I'll be asking for a bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold.
Any comment, Ms. Sutter?
Other than to ask the court to follow the 40-hour hold, this is his first failure to appear, and this is a traffic case.
Right, so I've indicated defendants failed to appear, and we'll place a bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold.
Thank you. I'm about 40% sure he's sitting in Nixon right now.
How about,
I'll be waiting.
how about Mr. Allen?
No way.
Downstairs, I don't know.
Mr. Allen's is here.
I believe he's in custody.
Okay.
Where'd Aaron go?
She is handling a sentencing in front of Judge Ward right now, so I am Ms. Robinson right now.
Did you want to talk to Mr. Allen, or do you want to wait?
Yes, please. I know what to tell Ms. Mervine. I'm not sure what to tell him yet.
We have Milton,
She's got notes.
Milton, Irvine, and West. Do we have West, Ronald West?
Oh, he declined her office, so I'm not sure about
Oh, we did.
That's
Okay.
what our notes said.
He's not here.
He's just not here. What's this about? Oh, just missed if he showed up.
What's that?
Mr. West's license is valid. I would have dismissed if he
That's
showed
unfortunate.
up.
Well, you just always got to do is show up. All right, I'm going to take a break and do some non-custodies. And then I'll be back.
All right. You read the facts on Irvine.
No, it's Aaron's case. She has to be taken over by Tenant.
Yeah.
She's second word.
Okay, so I feel like the boyfriend told the police that her name was Jordan because she told, like, I don't know, that was her name or nickname or whatever, but she went by Jordan, and the police thought like she was giving them false information because, like, she said her name was Jordan, and then the boyfriend kind of verified that her name was Jordan, and her mom, like, him and her mom referred to her as Jordan sometimes instead of Aliyah. So
what is the name
like,
that she just commonly go by?
yeah, so like Amani, I don't like, sometimes I use Amy. Some people know me as Amy because like it
It's
was
just a name,
growing
yeah.
up here was easier to just like,
Sure.
my name is Amy.
Sure. Yeah.
But like, you're not gonna accuse me of giving you false information by telling my name is Amy if I go by Jordan and my name is Aliyah. Like, that's my chosen name. I had a friend, her name is Elizabeth, but she went by Annie, and everyone knew her by Annie. Like, Elizabeth was just, she would kill you for her Elizabeth.
I grew up with a kid. We called him Pedro for easily 20 years. His name was Paul. We just called him Pedro.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, you're accusing, like, you're charging her with false information. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a name mix.
And I would not have put it past that. He was sweet as candy, dumb as a rock. I would not have put it past him to just panic and tell a cop his name was Pedro. Because that's what he went by on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
and then it would be
Like,
like, oh,
of
you
course
know
it's
what?
not his
Oh,
his
that's
government
false
name.
information. But
Yeah, that's annoying.
it's, yeah, I thought it was stupid. And I feel like it should be working for you guys.
Come on over. We're always hiring. Actually, genuinely, we're hiring.
Well, I need my maternity leave, so I'm just gonna stick it out
Fair.
and see what happens after.
Your pension's over here too.
Yeah.
I don't know. So what do you? Karen told me something about this. Let me find out real quick.
Is she? She's in custody.
So, yeah, she's in custody. She got a state case. So Aaron's note was to suggest setting it out 30 days beyond her state case. So I don't know if we can, I don't know what her intention is there, but that's what she was looking into. We found her
Okay, want to set it up, we can.
I'm guessing she's just trying to figure out what's going on.
Or she wants to sole interaction breach of peace. I'm definitely like willing to do that because like facts are really stupid.
Would agree.
And I'm not going to be like, oh, my name is Jordan, but you know, my official name is Elia, but I go by Jordan. So oh, false information. No, So if she wants that, I'm
Breach of
gonna
the
give her
peace.
that, but if you want, set it out for 30 days, I'm okay with that.
We'll talk about that. Let's shoot a quick message to Erin.
Alright.
She's not on Zoom. She's supposed to be going right now. But apparently, somebody's reading a long letter, so she's just sitting in the gallery losing her mind.
Okay. Yeah, some charges honestly are dumb.
Any dog
And I
case?
don't think that, like, honestly, I don't know why they're doing this, or just, I don't, they're wasting resources.
You think we don't have to handle them, but all animal cases, like unlicensed dog is a 93 misdemeanor. Dog at large, like your dog broke its leash and ran loose on the street, 93 misdemeanor. It's the same exact penalty as assault and battery. You know how insane that is?
It is.
Forgetting to unlicense your dog is the same exact penalty as
The one with
beating up a
keeping
stranger.
more chickens, the ordinance. for
Livestock
keeping
at large is
more
my
chickens.
favorite.
Oh. Like
I,
if you keep 5 chickens instead of 3 chickens, you
I
get- you
ran
get
a
charged
guy.
with a misdemeanor.
Yes, I ran a guy in Mason for livestock at large. And it was these 3 goats, and I will never forget his words to me because he was like in his upper 60s and looked dead in my eyes. I swear to you, Miss Southern, them little things is like Houdini's. I keep building fences and they keep getting through them fences. God bless you, sir. It was like it was out on M52 out in Stockbridge. I was like, sir, I know what farm you live on. I know exactly what goats you talk about. Yeah, you keep building fences. I see them. I drive by there all the time. You're right. And every once in a while, them goats do be
funny.
getting loose. I was on the golf team in high school.
That's funny.
On the golf team in high school, and I played at Willow Creek out in Stockbridge. There was a dairy farm across the street. The cows kept getting loose, and so every like couple of weeks, I'd have to call the headquarters and just be like, "Yo, John, I know this sounds crazy, but there's a
Goats.
cow. There's a cow on the 9 fairway right now. There's some calves on the 8 green. Can you call like Zimmerman and get him out here?"
Oh,
Who owned the
my.
dairy farm? God bless Stockbridge.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, this poor old man and his livestock at large charge because his goats kept getting to the fence.
Yeah, I just see that's a nonsense charge.
Stupid.
Like,
That it's criminal.
They're
It's
animals.
crazy.
How can I control them? For
Just
goodness sake?
like if you want to do something, make it a civil infraction. Give this man a fine and go away. Why is it a criminal charge?
Right?
Again, just the fact that dog license and assault and battery have the same exact penalties will never not blow my mind.
That's why, like, I'm taking hard stances on so many of these because I don't think they're worth pursuing, honestly. Like I know when I'm being reasonable, I know when I have to like put my foot down, but for cases like that, I'm like, no, just it's not worth it.
Just yeah. And the fact that we can get arrested too. So I spent a night in jail because we could
Like, can you imagine someone who's never been in jail in their lives and all of a sudden, like, you find yourself in a jail cell, like,
because your dog broke
for
its
the night?
leash,
Yeah.
or because like even the driving license.
That's
suspended
traumatizing.
cases.
That's a traumatizing experience. Like, I would not want to be in jail. I would not. I don't know. Like, I remember my Washington visits
Oh,
to
the hogback jail?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, that was the worst jail that I've ever seen. In
It's
my
one of the
life.
better ones I've been.
Better one.
They had
The
recently
smell-
painted when I worked.
The smell is
That's
so
true.
bad.
That's
and
true.
Just so nasty. And I was like, okay,
Mesquite
you
is
just
worse.
treat people like crap.
That's where they treat people like cattle. Like they're yeah.
It's so bad. It was so bad.
Mesquite was rough too. Yeah, because that whole jail, the whole complex thing was just so old and awful. And like, of course, it's a very, very conservative county too. So when I was working there, it was early 21. So like,
Okay.
still like COVID was an issue. Did not recognize it as a thing.
Oh, wow.
So just blatantly in violation of like Michigan Supreme Court dictates and everything.
They're going with their own laws.
Oh my God, who's gonna turn this in? Everybody agrees with us.
Oh,
I get COVID because of my dog. I'm throwing a fit. From that public defender's office, the county didn't really provide office space, which like they don't for us too. We have to rent some random building. But the public defender's office in Muskegon County is run out of a dorm room.
Oh,
They bought, so it used to be Muskegon Business College, and then I think Baker owned it for a while, and they sold it to the city because they ran out of money. So public defender's office started renting it, and they've done 0 modifications.
and it's a dorm room.
It's dorm, yeah, with no construction being done to it. So every office is this individual dorm room, including like office or closet, bathroom. You walk into it, you're like, oh, this is a dorm. They left the pool table in the lobby. So I worked there, I didn't have an office, so I worked from the pool table.
Oh,
Regular's Day. So your lawyer is Erin Robinson. She's in a reporting right now, so I'm handling. So you, correct me if I'm wrong, you are, what's your name?
Tomorrow,
Okay, that's what we thought. So you're here in the tax case today. So
she gave it to the 14th to pay it, the 14th of April to pay it,
who's she?
magistrate. When I first got ranked for it, she gave me to the 14th of April to pay. So I don't know
Let me see.
what this file would be right now. No, I was still locked up on the 14th, so I wouldn't have been paid. But
just ask the judge.
Yeah. Because I don't have anything.
you say on the paper,
And we
deferred
had
sentence,
pretrial
what-
hearing.
what is deferred sentence?
So the first sentence, when you originally pled to the charge, they gave you a period of time to pay the taxes, and if they were paid in that time, the charge was dismissed.
Okay, and I was paying on that first, but I had stopped paying. That's why she was like, well, I'll give you, because I don't know if she had no idea that I was getting out when I had came to see the judge or not. Because I had hold from this judge.
I have the balance left as 369.56.
269.
369. Actually, 443.35. How much is it, Wendy? 443.35. 443. Thank you, Wendy. There's late fees I get assessed. Oh, okay. Yeah, my note is from November 17, 2020.
It looks like the late fees hit, excuse me, on January 25th of 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, it'll go to, so that, if that. Yeah, we'll go to collection, yeah. So, we'll go to that department too, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be busy for a while. And he'll have to go to collection after.
Yeah. Was it for the collection?
Well, so it wasn't yet, because it's the deferred sentence, if the conviction enters.
But
paid.
it's been since 2020. Hey, Wendy, was it referred to collections?
Sorry?
Was the case referred to collections?
I don't believe so. Back in that day, it was set up on a payment plan.
Okay.
So let me just go back through this.
Well, you were sentenced in November 2020.
Looks like
That's when the payment was started. Or when you're after last.
Judge Alderson took the plea on 6/10 of 19. he was set up on a payment plan, even though it wasn't like collections, but he was set up on a payment plan, like how we used to do it. And he was supposed to pay 184 a month starting on 7/10. And he did not do that.
Okay.
So it looks like his original deferred sentencing was on 6/16/20.
Yeah, I have that note.
And it got rescheduled to allow him to pay to 7/28/20. And then COVID.
Yeah.
And a couple of extra sentencings were set. The last sentencing on 11/17/20, he failed to appear in the bench warrant issued. He was arraigned on 11/19.
Yeah, I have that.
Okay. I'll quit reading then.
No, it's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, your mail's getting back up a little. Cause you don't have any. Gotcha. They didn't handle it at the time.
Situation was addressed, yeah. One day I said in the court. I'm going to take management. They told me they didn't really know what you knew.
This is the card got free right now. Sorry, I'm trying to press it. My lights on.
Yeah.
So that's correct. Okay.
Oh, that zip code is wrong, this one.
Okay. Thanks. Oh. That's where I was going with that.
That you know to her and to Marcia.
But then when I got home, I told Mike, I said, hey, Beth, one of your kids actually should be nap for me and listen. Because none of her kids would ever. But JP took a really good nap and then she's like, well, hopefully the fourth one will nap too. But I'm like, huh?
Who, me?
Your wife.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
2 weeks behind.
Alicia. Okay, thank you. This is my
Yeah.
policy, what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just writing that. You give
I
permission,
really
I'll
don't
send
understand
your wife,
how
and
to
I
do
sign it.
It seems like it's the new and messed up there.
Okay, and you want to get
It's
permission
not-
to both of
it's
them?
not
Yeah.
custom.
Okay.
That's just Alicia out to March, James. It's two.
Sorry, I don't think it's done.
Let you know when you're ready.
That's okay. I'm hard on writing. So Alicia, Allen, and
To March, James, TAMARIST. That's what.
at the, which one?
Alicia is with.
Right, which?
EL.
Oh, EL, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I was like, which one am I replacing?
Mhm.
Okay. Alicia Allen, so that's correct.
How are you feeling, Mom?
I'm
Sorry.
tired. I'm not sleeping. I'm just nauseous and vomiting picked up. Funny thing.
That's how my youngest is. I just found out my oldest is also having a baby 2
Yeah.
weeks behind her younger
Oh
sister.
my.
So I'm taking October.
Yeah, I'm convincing. I'm trying to convince my mom to be here in September, but it's too cold in Michigan. I don't know if she wants to spend the winter here.
So I'll make sure.
Back last September was.
She's
coming from the Middle East.
Oh,
yeah, I'll give her that one. Hopefully it passes soon. My youngest is still fighting with a 24/7 nauseous.
It's way too much. It's exhausting.
Luckily, she's working from home, so I think she just rolls out of bed and goes.
I try to do as much as I can, but if I have meetings at the office and, tour and whatnot, I have to show up.
The only thing that tastes good to her is mashed potatoes, so apparently she's on a mashed potato kick.
Oh, funny thing, I'm on a grits roll. The only thing that's with my stomach is having grits.
All rise.
You can be seated. Alan? So we're on the record in docket 1805950. That's the city of Lansing versus Jamar Allen. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
The city attorney Emmanuel Williams appearing on behalf of the city of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter standing in for Aaron Robinson on behalf of Mr. Allen, who is standing to my right.
And sir, you are Jamar Allen?
Yes, Your
All right. This is the time set for a deferred sentencing on an income tax file. The last I have, it was deferred
Yeah. Okay.
for the outstanding payment, which was $368.46. Is that correct, Ms. Williams?
That's what I had, but Wendy just told me that the balance now is $443.35 because it has late fees.
What's that amount again? $448.
$443.
And 35.
35. Ms. Sutter?
Thank you, Your Honor. I've been speaking with Mr. Allen about this case, and he does advise me that there are significant portions of this history with this case where while on the payment plan, he was also homeless. So he was obviously having some trouble with money issues, also not receiving notices from the court. I've spoken with Ms. Williams briefly about this. I think she would be agreeable to a time served offer in this case. He's been in custody since the 13th, as well as the remaining balance being forwarded to collections. I would, however, ask the court if at all possible, any of the late fees be waived that possibly could be. I understand there's been a period of time here, but if any of the late fees could be waived so that Mr. Allen can make payments on the actual unpaid income taxes, he's agreeable to that, and I would ask the court to consider it.
All right, so the sense would be, is that 16 days served on this? 13th through the 27th would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 14?
14.
Okay. Time served, 14 days. And then the underlying 368.46 will be referred to collections. So make sure you contact collections or else this will just be a cycle, okay? So make sure you get with collections in the city of Lansing so that they can start some type of payment plan, or else they'll just show cause you. But I've only done it on the underlying debt, not on any of these charges that went on top of that. All right.
And a couple of things, if you don't mind, Your Honor.
Sure.
He is not due to be released until May 24th at the earliest. So whatever payment plan, I would just like to make that note of that for the court.
So-
No show causes happened.
Yeah, so May 20,
May 24th is his earliest out date.
all right.
And then, if you don't mind for me, Your Honor, repeating the 368.
368.46.
Thank you.
Oh.
Which is the initial charge I have without the 368.46.
Section 360. I had a 369.46.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I think you are right. 369.46. And so his earliest date out is May, what date is that again?
24th.
I don't want him show cause during that time period.
Me neither.
So date May 24th, 2023.
And then at that time, after his release, Your Honor, he is to make contact with collections to set up a
Yes.
payment plan. Collections is here in this building on this floor, actually. There's windows that you walk by. Yep.
So after May 24th. On 396.46 debt. All right, so the collection process can start after May 24th, 2023. That's when the defendant can contact the collections agency. Time served on this will be for the 14 days previously served. And the debt will be 396.46 as was the previous debt without the late fees. Anything else for the record, docket 1805950, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Allen, good luck to you, okay, sir? Milton. Are you Mr. Savitsky?
Yes, sir.
All right. You're here for your 11 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
You can just stand by. We've got a few files to call in front of you, okay? So guys, are we waiting on Milton or?
Milton and I believe Aaliyah Mervine is in custody, so I don't know if Nathaniel's bringing her up when he comes.
Oh.
back.
She's not here. We're trying to find out why she's not.
We were gonna request, I think that'd be, well, there's an offer, but possibly set out anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
All right, so do you want to go on, you tell me. We also have Mr. West as the last of our 930s.
Looks like West is a no-show.
And he's not represented by the public defender's office.
All right, so let's go ahead and call that. So we're on the record in docket 22L2775821. That is the City of Lansing versus Ronald E. West. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in this motor vehicle matter. Was set for 9:30. It is now 10:39. It would appear that the defendants failed to appear today. Check the Zoom courtroom and he's not present. He's not present in the physical courtroom. Ms. Williams, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd like to request a bench warrant, bond forfeiture with a 48-hour.
That's granted. So defendant failed to appear, bench warrant forfeiture with a 48-hour hold. Anything else for the record in docket 22L2775821, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
And that's all for the record in that file. And then we said we're trying to find out where Ms. Mervine is, or Mr. Milton.
Is Milton in jail?
I don't have a note in our system that he's in custody, but sometimes that's all.
Let's wait for Nathaniel on that just to see.
Let me check my.
All right, and then, so Mr. Savitsky, you're here on your show cause?
Yes, sir.
You can come up here. So we're on the record in docket 1503395. It's the City of Lansing versus William Savitsky. It's a show cause hearing. And you are William Savitsky?
Yes, I am here.
All right. This is time set for a show cause in regards to an outstanding debt of, what's not the original debt anymore? What is it again? 210. So it's an outstanding debt of 210 on this matter. You understand the nature of why you've been show caused by the city?
Do, Your Honor, there was a bond that was posted on that, and I went to the window and they were supposed to put the bond to the fines.
That's a great question.
So I'm trying to figure out. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out.
So let's see if we can figure out what happened to that bond, okay?
Allegedly, it was posted in a third party name, but the names match, so. Sir. I should put it on. They took it out because they said that it was a third party bond. So I'm really confused.
You wanna check them, Marquita?
I'm checking somebody.
We have plenty of time. You wanna run and check there?
Yeah.
All right.
If you wouldn't mind. if you
So,
could
Mr.
just
Savitsky,
email-
why don't you have a seat? We're gonna try to figure out what happened with that bond, okay?
Your Honor.
I'll give you the file if you need it.
Thank you. Yeah, let me go see if I can't find the
Yep.
manager or someone. I should
Right.
have the bounce to see if I can-
All right. Is, who'd you bring over?
Wow.
Was that?
Jamal Allen.
Is Milton or Mervine in custody or no?
Milton wasn't on Friday when I did the jail list. Irvine is, Polycom asked why she hasn't been put on and they didn't respond. Milton's actually Jamar Allen's brother.
Is he really?
Hold up. What are you talking about?
That's what he just told me.
Irvin
That's what he was
Wilson
just
is
told.
Jamar Allen's brother. Type.
Why? How?
It's not Stephen Durrell the priest, so I have no comments.
Right,
It's not an ICJ, so he just didn't show up to court.
For Milton.
for Milton.
Yeah, I can't find him on Find Links, so.
All right, once Lindsay gets back, and then Mervine, they didn't put her on Polycom for some reason, right?
Yeah. And they haven't responded.
That's
to
not her
anything
fault.
else.
But
It's
it's
not her fault. She's put on,
Set it out.
we can just send it out.
Nothing. I don't know, Joe.
I'll go check the hallway, but I haven't seen him and I don't see any notes. Again, so indicates she's been talking.
You guys don't mind that
They're putting her on now. They're just sending.
they just, okay.
Oh, they are putting Mervine
She's-
on now? Okay,
Did you want a breakout room with her?
I will, yeah, when she's back.
Do you guys mind that we put a couple civils because we don't schedule those, but usually those, if it's anything we take testimony on, I just set it for a formal hearing date.
Gotcha.
But every once in a while, like parties show up and we've got to put something on the record. And it's usually like what you just saw where somebody brings in documentation, and they'll get, like,
I wanted to come back for that. I think you had a,
Nathaniel says that,
for rental situation.
Nathaniel
was
says that
so
she's not gonna have
interesting.
documentation.
Oh, her.
Nathaniel says she'll bring the infant child and say that it was born
I
on that
genuinely
day,
thought she
which
was
is
just
really
suggesting for a minute.
cynical, but very funny.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, poor
Yeah.
baby.
When she started talking about the photos, I thought what was coming next was I can bring the baby to. I really thought that was coming.
I just wanted something from the hospital to say that
Yeah,
the reason.
Records that she
I
was
get what she was
there
talking.
and
Like,
delivered.
she wasn't making the point very well, but I do understand what she was trying to say.
I
Where
do-
her house got reg tagged on Friday.
Yes.
So I think her point was she didn't know it was going to get reg tagged until then. And by
Right.
the time she learned, it was too late to go to the hospital to get the stuff for
Right,
Monday.
I agree. I that's how I read it,
Yeah.
but I just want to make sure she knows she needs to come with
She's
something.
coming back with her documents for
Yeah.
her baby.
Yeah. Or
If she comes with the baby, we're really
I
stuck
want to talk about habeas
because we're like,
corpus. Bring
that looks
on.
like an infant, but there's nothing to indicate the baby was born
Yeah.
on that day
On
at
that
Sparrow
day.
Hospital.
Need an obesity measure.
Old school habeas corpus.
Yeah,
Bring the body
right,
to
yeah.
court.
Okay, go
Right.
to YouTube.
Oh,
and,
no.
look up this video of this stupid girl. She
If,
gets stopped by the police and she keeps saying, where's the body of the car? There's no.
So if we start smiling because there's an infant in court next Monday, I'm gonna blame you, Nathaniel.
Won't be the first time. It won't be
Gonna
the
blame
last.
you.
I'll take the blame for some laughs. That's
Yeah, I mean, there'll be a smile on everybody's face, but like, Kind of saw this coming.
I work for Steve Adams in Washington County. My favorite court hearing I ever watched him partake in was he was doing a sentencing with some guy, and the guy asked him to make a statement. Yeah, sure. He then began singing. He had rewritten an Adele song.
Oh, goodness.
To be like, I'm
No.
sorry, Your Honor, for my mistake.
Well, you got to get credit for that.
It was so great. And knowing Steve the way I do, he was standing behind the guy just very politely, like head down, hands like staring down. It frequently gets posted on like these law school Facebook pages and stuff. You'll
Okay.
see like, oh, he's trying not to laugh. He's trying not to like bust out laughing. Like, I know that guy. He's been sent to court ordered anger management 3 times. He's not trying not to laugh. He's trying not to strangle them. I've been the recipient of that look before. Look, closed eyes, breathe deep. Don't kill the intern.
Yeah.
Me and Adam Pfeiffer were often the recipients of that gaze.
That's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious. Every once in a while, for a good laugh, I go back and watch the YouTube video.
Yeah.
Honor, I'm sorry.
Hey, gets points for being creative.
It's great.
Yeah.
Great. And Judge Darlene O'Brien just very nicely sat and listened to the whole thing. and
Yeah.
just,
Why wouldn't
Thank
you?
you for that rendition.
Yeah, that's outstanding. I wish I could sing that way. Here's what's mine.
Perfect. I am still in room 1, if you don't mind.
All right. So, Ms. Mervine, we're going to place you in a breakout room with your public defender. All right, ma'am? Okay. All right, we're on the record in docket 23-00890. That is City of Lansing versus Aaliyah Mervine. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Manny Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter standing in for Aaron Robinson on behalf of Ms. Mervine, who joins us via Zoom.
Ma'am, you are Aaliyah Mervine?
Yes,
Okay, and you can hear me all right, Miss Mervine?
yes.
All right, this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Miss Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, my understanding is that Ms. Mervine will be accepting responsibility to the amended charge breach of the peace.
That'll be the amended. Will be count 2. Amended. Count 2, breach of the peace. It's a civil infraction. $150?
Yes.
$150 fine. And what's the back code for that?
750.170.
And that's your understanding, Ms. Sutter?
It is, Your Honor, and I will accept responsibility on my client's behalf.
All right. So the ultimate, so we'll be pleading to we'll be admitting responsibility of the civil infraction breach of the peace pursuant to 750.170. That's your understanding, Ms. Mervine?
Yes.
All right. So we're on the same ticket. This is ticket 23519024441, and it's on the date of March 16, 2023. And at that, you accept responsibility for a breach of the peace civil infraction on that date.
I do.
All right. With that understanding, there's a fine of $150 that goes along with that. Does your client need some time to make that payment?
She is, Your Honor. She's obviously being held in custody right now. We do not know a concrete out date for her, so she is going to need time. 1, because she's in custody, and 2, beyond that to get the
Right.
funds.
So what are you thinking as far as a date?
I suppose at this point, Your Honor, I would ask maybe 60 days out. I don't know how long she's going to be held in custody on other files, but maybe 60.
It should be paid today.
Safe choice.
She already has collections accounts.
We'll just add this to our collections account.
That would make sense. Yes. Thank
So
you.
let's add the $150 fine to the collections account. And then, ma'am, when you get out of the Ingham County Jail for your purposes, just contact the collections department at the City of Lansing, and this $150 fine will go towards that collections issue, okay?
Okay, it's being paid now.
Someone's paying towards the collections amount on your behalf.
Yeah, God said he's paying for it now.
Okay, this will just be added to that amount.
Okay. So that's all for the record docket 23-00890. Anything else, Ms. Williams?
All right, Honor, thank you.
Ms. Sutter?
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Mervine, you're all set today, okay?
Thank you.
Is that Milton?
Yeah,
What's up, Milton?
we have Milton. That'll be the last.
So we're on the record in docket 23 L2775461 and 462. That is City of Lansing versus Irvin Milton. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Assistant City Attorney Manny Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter, and standing in for Aaron Robinson today on behalf of Mr. Milton. I do not believe he is present.
All right, and I've checked the Zoom courtroom and the physical courtroom. Mr. Milton is not in either. This was initially scheduled for 9 o'clock. It is now, I'm sorry, this was initially scheduled for 9:30. It is now 11:03. And it would appear that the defendants failed to appear today. Ms. Williams, how did you want to proceed?
Your Honor, I'm requesting a bench warrant bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold.
Ms. Sutter?
I just asked the court for the 48-hour hold. This is his first non-appearance, and this is a driving case.
So the court issues a bench warrant and bond forfeiture for non-appearance with a 48-hour hold.
Thank you.
I think that's it. in docket 20L2580222. That's the City of Lansing versus Antonomar Grady Jones. Oh, Antoine Marvet. That's Antoine Marvet, Grady Jones. And this was scheduled for 11 o'clock. It is now 11:15. It would appear that the defendant failed to appear for show cause. So a bench warrant and bond forfeiture is issued. And I'll do it with a 48-hour hold. And then we're on the record in docket T02107566. That is the City of Lansing versus Brianna Redmond. The show cause hearing was set for 11 o'clock. It is now 11:17. It would appear the defendant failed to appear for show cause. And I will issue a bench warrant and bond forfeiture with a 48-hour hold. And that's all for the record on that file.